Alright, we see Mamu in our strong mobile possibility VGH. So when it's a possibility VGH, the can TFA, a my own same way, which way my Ghana Mune as I can be a no H. We see me did media, which I mean, Eddie Francis actually, aka possible. But I say, and then Sunday that we need a channel, you see, YouTube, a best so Benjamin watch video, and I'm not going to we should be like such a wide video na semestro men attack ubia ma ubia nso ne nadamfo amekon comment section na sina bibia enye fe ubia na subscribe and say wa share content no ama unua bi nso anya bi ahwe yes ebusia me no ka say audio back will be a drop me pese me say wada jani ye mo room ni ntin se me audio we mu.
I am doing an exit plan for myself. Exit plan for myself to leave the media. Why? Because
you are not suggesting that by your exit plan you will not be in the industry by 2024. Is that
I will not be in the industry. I will not be in the industry, something.
And you won't because of the fear of attacks. Is that what you're saying?
Because of the fear of attacks, and there's nobody to support you, something. NDC comes from a revolution. Their first manifesto was signed by President Rawlings, who was Chairman Rawlings, with his blood. NDC is known to have a history of not being entirely, media friendly. So, and that is completely opposite from MPP, which is coming from a tradition where they portray themselves, at least to a large extent, before the period before 92 Constitution, were more media friendly. When NDC was in power, every time the media has come under attack, it is the MPP that would rise to the occasion and support the media. I have my issues with this report because I think that the report is completely biased against women. I have been attacked so many times and I did not see that in the report. I did not see my threat in the 2020 election that forced me out of the country. I had to flee the country. I did not see that in the report. Completely biased against the women. And if we take this year's theme, International Women's Day theme, breaking the bias, I think that this report didn't do justice to the theme and the rights of women, because all the issues and the examples that were cited were all male journalists. And that is not to say, like Sewa here said, that female journalists have not been attacked within the period under review, but they were all not captured. In 2012, I think in 2016, we in multimedia at the time, and I was with multimedia, we were called regime changes. The MPP portrayed itself as we are the fighters of media freedom. And when NDC was in power, every time the media has come under attack, it is the MPP that would rise to the occasion and support the media. So that's what I'm saying, that it is with that expectation that you want to place the MPP above the NDC in terms of expectation. And therefore, you don't want the ministry or government to just acknowledge it.
You don't think whilst in opposition, they were just taking advantage for the political gain? Like
probably, but there's a track record. Probably, but there's a track record. I've given you the days, especially with the president, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. He has an enviable position, a different, an exclusive position that is unique to him because of his history and his record. And he himself alluded to the fact in his speech by saying that somebody like him, he is surprised that under his regime, the media is being abused or touted as he himself. And that is where the expectation comes in. The work he's done over the years in the kind of relationship he's had with the media, that is why the expectation is there. That under his leadership, under no circumstance should we have abuses of even if it's 10%, which is that's where the differences in the two traditions in terms of NDC and MPP comes in. That's where I have my own issues. And that is why I think that the report is somewhat inadequate presenting the issue. It's not about government and this is not about opposition. What worries me particularly is that over the years, we have used this report as when the party is in government, they use it against the other, and whoever is in opposition uses against whoever is in government, without looking at the impact of the journalists, of the media industry. Something, I am doing an exit plan for myself. exit plan for myself to leave the media. Why? Because of these things. We can no longer continue, and I'm not the only one. We've had several media people who are exiting the industry and moving into public relations, moving into corporate communications because it's safer, no attacks emotionally and physically. Like I said in 2020 election, I had to flee the country for a month and return later when the coast was clear. This is not captured in the report.
Yeah,
so
but I need to remind you that this is 2013 to now. So
2013 to now.
So if the issues you are speaking about before 2013 are not captured, that's the explanation.
Okay. Well, then the 2020 election should have been captured. Why was my attack? Because there's a report at the police headquarters. I filed a complaint with the police headquarters. The complaint was forwarded to the cybercrime unit. Why was the report not capturing that? So the report is inadequate, and that's why I question, is it because I am a woman, so I am not important? So if I die, my life is not important? Why should I risk my job the next time to cover the next election? That's why I've said 2024 elections, I am not anything going to cover it. So this international organization,
you are not suggesting that by your exit plan, you will not be in the industry by 2024.
I will not be in the industry. I will not be in the industry, something.
And you won't because of the fear of attacks. Is that what you're saying? Because
of the fear of attacks, and there's nobody to support you, something. Where was the GJ? Where was the GJ when I was attacked 2020? And I sat on TV and said, 2 people came to my office, nearly made it to my studio. And this is not a joking matter. I had to install 10 cameras in my house, but still I wasn't sleeping. So I sleep during the day and monitor the cameras throughout the night. But this is not fair. Yeah, and this is a report. The report never captured this.
If you are talking about election periods, I suppose for serious media houses, particularly those of us who do projection of the election results, it is not a new thing that during those periods we get security, we get special security, either private or whatever it is. Our homes are guarded, among others, because of the real threats that come at us. So during election time, that will not be different.
Yes, it wasn't. In fact, it was because of one of these private security arrangements that we had done at Despite Media. That is what saved me. Without that private security arrangement, probably I would have died. And if I take you back, Evans and myself were to announce the election results, and we had done the collation in the newsroom at Multimedia. We were about to call the results, and those collators came and said, "Look, I think it was around 2:45 a.m. at dawn. We have the results." Kaba left. He was too scared. Kofi Adoma left. He was too scared. I think Captain, he was like, "Look, I can't do this." They were scared. I was the woman with the boldness and said, "I will go and do it." And I had done my shift, 8 hours or 12 hours, but I said I'll still go on and do it. So we simultaneously planned it. Evan was to go 12:45 a.m. I was to go at Akan. So I had to call my contacts in the armed forces, have them lined up on the streets of Joy FM before we went on air. And between myself and Kwesichum, he knows the arrangement that we did in the night before we went. And that is why most of the talented people in the industry are leaving, going on early retirement.
What happened to you 2016? You were going to talk about that.
Well, 2016, we had similar reports when we called the elections for MPP. Also, threats from NDC on the other side. So that's why I want us to look at this in both ways. I've seen people talk about this report and using it against MP that. In the 2015 case that we took to court with Afia Pokua and others versus NHIS, we were expecting, I particularly, as a friend of President Mahama, was expecting him personally to come out and condemn it. No. And it is no longer comfortable, and we should not allow politicians and the political class to continue to take advantage of the abuses of the media. When the media people have become victimized, and I worry that GJ, National Media Commission, have reduced this whole thing about safety of journalists, the economic issue, to just releasing statements, and that's what, and it ends there. And nobody cares if the next moment, Afia Pokua is going to be the next person on the obituary. Nobody cares, and that is where my worry is. We must go beyond just the rhetoric of discussing the reports when it comes out.
All right, thank you.
Actually formulating policies and laws that work, not laws for fashion, not laws for entertainment.
Okay, thank you. Now.